So to overcome the impact of the climate change, especially on the rate of climate change, we cannot stop by ourselves. Okay, that's mean from Malaysia, okay, which is the small country. Okay, we cannot reduce the carbon dioxide emission, okay, by our own. We need to all worldwide to overcome together, okay, especially to those country that produce a lot of this emission, okay, like the US and also China, okay. So this we call is as an industrial country, okay. They need to some rules and regulation, okay, to overcome this problem. So that's why there is a protocol or accord between all these country to control the production of the climate change sources. So this one, the first accord actually have been introduced at 1997 at Japan. We known as the Kyoto Protocol. So it's around 127 countries signs this protocol except the US. So and then the later, I think there is a few accord, and the latest one is a Paris Accord, which being introduced and signed at 2016. So you can see all countries actually signed this agreement, this accord, including the US. For the information, mula-mula US actually is do not want to sign. Okay, during that times, the government of the US actually by the Donald Trump, he don't want to sign, because if the US sign, so US cannot be more advanced. And then the Donald Trump say actually the climate change actually is just the assumption and propaganda by the scientists. So that's why the Donald Trump don't want US to sign. And then I think it's around 2000 something, 2017, 18 at the end, when the US president have been changed, which is now is Joe Biden. Okay, so their government finally signed the Paris Accords. So the key goal of this accord actually to reduce greenhouse gas emission and to keep the global temperature rise below than 2 degrees Celsius as compared to the pre-industrial level. So that's mean to reduce this greenhouse gas emission, that's mean each country need to reduce their pollution emissions. Okay, and then that's the main goal. And then some country who are rich, for example US and Europe countries, they are agree to give some fund to the second or third countries to help in reducing the pollutant, and also help together to tackle the problem related to the climate change, for example drought and then floods. So they will help. But I read the news from the press, they mentioned this thing actually is not occur, because the rich country do not keep their promise to make this accord success. So as I again, one bodies that manage and also do some studies related with the climate change is the IPCC, which is Intergovernmental Panel in Climate Change. So this IPCC actually is under program World Meteorological Organization and the United Nations Environmental Program. So the first IPCC report we call as a first AR assessment report have been produced at 1990, and this report contain the assess available scientific information on climate change, and then assess environmental and socio-economic impact of climate change and formulate the response strategies. So all these three actually have been published and being addressed in the AR 1990, we call as a AR1. And then this AR have been updated at 2001, okay, and then another report at 2007, and then 2014, and the most current I think is just published around 2021. We call it as a AR6, the assessment report 6 editions. So all these report actually they present the data, the most current data that related to the climate change, and also they have put some procedure and policy on how to mitigate, how to adapt the climate change. So that's about the assessment report.